Hey, what's up guys? My name is Dom from Hole Printing Inc. In today's video, I will be teaching you guys the following. How to start a printing company, how to do it for cheap, how to save time, energy, and how to live life on your own terms. I do suggest you guys stick around. I'll be dropping weekly videos on the printing industry, on tips and tricks, and how to do it yourself. The printing industry generates over $100 billion per year, so you can for sure have a chunk of that pie. Though, the most overwhelming thing is the abundance of information. There's so much information and so little time to fully immerse yourself in every single detail of that information. My goal is to help you guys make the smart decision. In all of these videos, if you look in the comments or in the description, you will find a big list of all of the items you need to start your own printing company. I started Hole Printing Inc. 1 year ago. The reason I started this company is because I wanted to print my own custom t-shirts for my clothing brand. Since then, it's been a year, and I've created a lot of clothing. From embroidery, to screen printing, to vinyl. While I was doing my own clothing, I saw a big opportunity to create clothing for other businesses and other brands. My goal is now to teach you guys what I've learned in my year of screen printing, vinyl, DTF, embroidery, every single thing that I know I want to transmute to you guys. I've learned a lot thanks to Catspitz Productions, Tanyo Inc., and Lee Stewart, just to name a few. So like I said, the basics to start your own printing company, you're going to need a heat press, a cutter, vinyl. Anything else is extra. But let's say you don't have a laptop, you don't have a computer, you're gonna need these things, but I'm assuming that you already have a laptop, you already have some type of foundation that you're starting on. What's also cool with this type of business is that you can start on limited space. Right now I'm in my parents' garage. I initially started in the basement with about maybe I would say 12 by 12 in space to be able to do this print shop. So whether you're starting out in a basement, in a garage, in a shed, it doesn't matter. As long as you got some space and you got some electrical outlets, you're gonna be good. So like I said, heat press, cutter, and vinyl, anything else is extra. But we will be going into the process of doing a t-shirt and how it works. So do stick around and we're gonna be showing examples. But like I said, everything you need to start, heat press, Silhouette Cameo 4, and some heat transfer vinyl. Anything else is extra. You might be wondering, how much would this cost to start this? Well, at the heat press, you're looking at about $200 to $300 for a decent heat press to start. For a cutter, you're looking at about $400 to $300. And for vinyl, I included the first link down in the description. Is going to be a package of 42 sheets. These are all of your colors that you're going to be needing to start. Alright, so you got your heat press at home and you got your cutter and you got your vinyl. Now you're ready to make the magic happen. What's the first thing you're going to need? Blank t-shirts. If you're just starting out, just use scraps. I'm going to have a whole separate video on how to source blanks from wholesalers. But let's say you're just starting out, you're going to just want to use a scrap t-shirt to be able to print some HTV vinyl on. First step of action, you're going to need to turn on your heat press. And you're gonna have to go grab a shirt. Now, like I said, if you're just starting out, do use a scrap t-shirt. First things first, take your t-shirt, make sure you're holding it like this. This is how I hold it to make sure it's like pretty centered. What I do is I do this. I take this side now, flip it around like this. So I'm just folding it like in half. This is the back of the t-shirt on the other side. So I put the back of the t-shirt on the heat press. I try to align it as much as I can with my hand just by eye. Try to make sure that this is pretty much centered by eye. I take this seam and I put it just here so it's not touching the heat press. As you can see, it's like floating off, you know what I mean? So you make sure you have no contact of like a seam or like something, like you don't want either this. It's hard to see on camera, but you know what I mean, like the inseams. You don't want it to be touching the heat press, or not, you're gonna have an uneven pressure on your print. Alright, finish up loading your shirt. And do keep in mind, when starting off this business, you can't print, let's say 10 color prints, okay? You can layer vinyl, so we're gonna be showing you guys how to do 3D effects and how you can eventually do logos and stuff like that. But to start out, you can't really do the same quality as screen printing with vinyl. That's why it's also way cheaper to start this type of business with a heat press. First thing you need to do is connect this cutter to your computer manually with a long cord. So you connect that. I'm gonna have a video on how to set up your Cameo, but in this video I'm going to be keeping it short. So once your cameo is set up, basically what you need to do, okay, once you got your vinyl, you put it in here. This is just going to be for demonstration because I already have my logos plucked out and everything. You put your HTV. So this is how your HTV gets here. You make sure you put it in like this. So yeah, this is the side where it's going to be cutting on. Boom. You put this in here. You load it like this. Now another important thing, you make sure it's fully past this little line right here. Sorry for the dust, I need to clean my cutter. But as you can see, you need to make sure that it's past that line. So now it's past, okay? So now it's going to be cutting perfectly. And if you do have the extra budget, I would suggest these Teflon sheets. Like I said, link down in the description. And I won't go on too long because there's a lot of things I would suggest, but I would also suggest this measuring tape. Alright, so a little disclosure before we start. Before you buy your equipment, just make sure you're buying what's right for you. So let's say if we take this heat press for example, about like $200, 250 bucks. It's like on the cheaper end of the spectrum, but it gets the job done. It's a heat press, right? So this has been with me for over a year and it gets every single job perfectly done. Now, what I do need to do though is it doesn't auto clamp, so you need to put your own pressure on it. So I have this little bench and I put pressure. So I found a way that works for me. A heat press that auto clamps. You can invest in a higher end heat press, would be around like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on what you want. But like I said, this is mostly for people that are starting out, so this heat press will do more. And even if you do have the budget, okay, why invest like $3,000 in a heat press? This is just my personal humble opinion. You do what you want with your money, okay? But why not just start with this little heat press? See if you even like screen printing, heat transfer vinyl, DTF, embroidery, if you even want to run a print shop, and then you start investing in those higher end equipments, you know what I mean? So just take your time, fall in love with the process. This will do the job. Same thing with the cutter. You don't need anything bigger to start off. So little disclaimer and disclosure out of the way. Let's get into how it works and how to do it for yourself. I want to give a big thank you and big shout out to John Santos. It's one of my biggest inspirations on making this exact video. So yeah, I just want to give a big shout out. Go check out his channel. I'll have a link down in the description. So thank you so much. Alright, so before we move on to how it works and how to get every single detail right, I do want to have this big disclaimer. This is just a quick preview on how it works, as this video could be 5 hours long. So I will have a course down in the description down below. Eventually, it's not going to be released right when this video goes up, but eventually I have a full-on course on how it works, even like going deep into the business. But anyways, I'll save that all for another video because that course is going to be intense and fully immersive, so you can fully learn what I've learned in a year in like a few days. So anyways, that's going to be a whole different course. But I am going to have a full-on video coming out soon on how this works on YouTube. So do stick around for that. But for now, this is a brief preview on how it works and how you can get started from this video alone. But like I said, do take this with a grain of salt because the full immersive course is going to be coming out soon. And another video going more in depth is going to be on YouTube very shortly, so do be patient. But if not, you can go on John Santos' channel. He has a lot of helpful videos on this topic. So you get your heat press, you got your vinyl cutter, make sure everything's set up. Like I said, whole different video on how to get these things set up if ever you guys have troubleshooting errors. But you turn on your heat press, you make sure your cutter's on. Next step is going to be to load your vinyl. So make sure you load it like this in the cutter. So this is how you receive it, right? You receive it like this. This is the side that's going to be cut on. So when you load it, make sure you load it like this. Alright, so first thing first, you pull out your tray. If you want to be using the full roll of vinyl. If not, you can use your cutting mat. Like I said, link down in the description for every single product that I'm using. But if you just go with the vinyl roll, like I said, just make sure you're cutting on the right side. So this is how it looks, and this is the side that you want to be cutting on. So this is how you load it. You pull out your tray slowly. Make sure it's like really pulled out. You don't want it to be like this, you know what I mean? Like crooked or something like that. You just make sure it's fully out. Pull this thing up. Then, boom. I like this cutter because it's really simple and easy. put this in. Make sure it's nice and tight. So I just push this part in. Make sure it's nice and tight on the vinyl roll. Take your vinyl like this. Like I said, make sure it's loaded properly on the right side. Pass it through right here, the little slot. As you guys can see, right through the little slot. After that, just load it up. You have two lines that you want to put your vinyl on. So I'll just show you guys before I do it, because I am alone to film this, so it's a bit hard, but bear with me, guys. So you have right there your first line that you want to be loading on, and this is your second arrow right there. Not the last one, but this one right here. Alright, so load it right there. I'll show you guys how it looks. Boom. Properly, but even if you load it just with one hand, look, you don't need to use two hands. It works properly fine. So once it's like that, most people would just go, but what I suggest is you guys, I don't know if you can see this properly, ignore my dust on the Cameo. It needs to be sprayed, like air sprayed, but you want to load it completely on the other side. So just a bit more, load it like that. There you go. Now your vinyl is completely passed, and always make sure that this is always up. So sometime it's going to be like this, and you might be okay, it's going to pass, but no, it's always better for it to be up like this, and put your little lock so it doesn't fall back in place. Alright, so now you're ready to do the action. This is the next step. This is not a full immersive video. I'm going to have the full immersive video coming out soon, but for now we're just going to be printing out the whole printing logo. So we're just going to go here, whole printing. We're just going to be printing out this simple logo. I'm going to be showing you guys shortly and briefly how it works, but like I said, do be patient with us. We'll have the full immersive video coming out soon. Select trace area. So you click trace right here, and then you click select trace area. Select trace area, you select your logo. It's going to highlight in yellow. And then once it's highlighted, you click trace right there. And then what you can do is just hover over your logo like this, take it with your mouse, click on the black part or whatever the color of your logo is. In our case, it's black. Select back your logo, and then you're going to hold shift and scale it down like you would in any other program. Now, since we're printing on HTV vinyl, so this is how it looks, guys, by the way. I just scaled it down, nothing too complicated. You go on the top corner on object right here. I clicked on object, and then you click on mirror. An object, and then as you can see, once I clicked on mirror, you have the option flip horizontally. You always do this when you're printing heat transfer vinyl, anything that goes on a garment, or let's say a coffee mug, anything that has to be heat pressed on, you have to cut it in reverse, because like I said, we put it in reverse here because that's how heat transfer vinyl works. So just make sure you always flip horizontally. As you guys can see, I have this little note of PTSDs because initially I didn't flip them horizontally, and that caused a lot of headaches, like a lot of headaches. So if you need, even put a note like I did, flip horizontally. After it's flipped, you can send it. So I just click send in the top corner right here. Nothing too complicated. And this is the most important part. This is a freebie right here, guys. This is the most overpowered cutting setting in the world, okay? So make sure your blade is on 4 or 3 and your force is on 7 and 7. So force and speed on 7, and you have it at 1 pass. So this is the settings that you want to be changing right here. And this works for heat transfer vinyl and normal vinyl, like even on like a car or anything, you know what I mean? So this works on any type of vinyl for the vinyls that I have linked down in the description down below. So now it's time for the magic. Click send, and the Silhouette Cameo 4 is about to do its magic. It's about to sound like pure cancer. Look at this. Or should I say, listen to this, guys. Woo! This is the sound of money and magic right there, baby. Alright guys, so after it's done cutting, depending on your settings on your Cameo, it may load back up. So you just want to click the arrow and feed it back on the other side. So you feed it, and then once it's passed, like it's done right there, you take down your safety guards and you slide and you cut, and that's pretty much it. Now you got your heat transfer vinyl ready to be weeded out and print. As you guys can see, this logo is cut out even smaller, but the Silhouette Cameo 4 does a really good job at capturing every single little detail. So very impressed. I'm gonna weed this for you guys and then I'm gonna press it. So you just take your hook, take your weeding tool, links down in the description. You place it here, anywhere you want really, towards an extremity. And then you just peel like this. I do suggest you guys invest in this board if you have the extra budget. I think it's around $20 to $30, and this board basically, I can't show you with the camera because it's too bright, but you can see through the HTV vinyl, so you do have to have a surface when doing this. Then you just pull lightly. Make sure you're always pulling towards, so you're never applying resistance against your logo, if that makes any sense. So with the whole printing logo, I'm going towards the print, not like against it like this, you know what I mean? So just go towards, try to avoid any resistance. And when you come towards letters like this or more complicated patterns, use your tool to take off like the edges. Alright, so I got 3 little tips for you guys. First tip is when you're weeding out your vinyl, like I previously showed you guys, you make sure that you have no excess residue left on that transfer tape, because if you do, it will like stick to your garment. So in this example, let's say I would have left like a little dot here, it would have appeared right there, you know what I mean? So do make sure your clear transfer is clear beside the logo you have on it. That's the first thing. It even properly cut out the little X's. Now the next part is just gonna be to, now I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me guys. Soon I'll have somebody to help me film these videos, but for now it's all solo. So just, you get the gist of it. So I'll just place this down, it's gonna go way easier. Alright, now you got your logo and you're ready to press it. This is the fun part. Alright, so now you got your logo ready to press. Your heat press is all heated up. These are my settings. So I go for 290 Fahrenheit, 12 seconds, 4 to 3 times depending on the shirt and depending on the pressure I apply. So it's really a thing that you develop over time. You develop your style depending on what garments you're printing on. It's really a trial and everything. So that's why I say do be patient with yourself when you first start out, because you will put your prints crooked. You will have stuff like that happen to you. It's part of the process. So just be patient with yourself, learn slowly, and with these videos hopefully I can help you guys make the proper choices. So I have this little bench right here. I'm gonna hop on. I'm gonna place my logo. What I like to do to get like an even print is I just place my hand like this. I have about a hand to the seam right here, so this is good. I'm gonna place my logo here. I'm gonna center it with my measuring tape. If you do have the extra budget, do invest in a measuring tape. Second thing is when you are applying your pressure and you are applying your vinyl on the shirt, do make sure you read the instructions for that specific vinyl. We have so many different types of vinyls and different companies making these vinyls that it's important to do your own research and to make sure that you are applying the proper pressure, applying for the right time and the proper heat for that specific vinyl. So not all settings like that I use will work for you. You do need to make your have your own research, and like I said, mine is a manual, so the pressure I apply is very different to the pressure that you will be applying. Perfectly centered. Make sure we're not crooked. All right, take your Teflon sheet, apply it. Make sure you don't touch your logo while applying it. Then release slowly. Now hop on your bench if you need to, and boom, press. I apply a lot of pressure, and when I say a lot, I apply more as the time counts down. So I have 12 seconds. As the time counts down, I apply more pressure, and then the most pressure I apply, as you can see the press is lifting a little bit, is right when it's like ringing down. So you can take off your Teflon sheet, and this is how it should look. Very overexposed, but yeah, this is how it looks. And when you peel off in one singular motion slowly. There you go, as easy as that. Now you're not finished right there. If you do want to have a quality print, if you do plan on running a business and stuff like that, you want to make sure that your prints are quality. I'll have a whole different video on how to make sure your presses come out nice, because like I said, I've went through 1 year of headaches and still go through headaches every single day. So I do know a few things about this industry. So when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, you want to stretch it out right after it's been pressed like this. Stretch it out in every single sense. You can even lift up the shirt and stretch it out for an even better result, but for this video we're just going to be doing it like this to save some time. So right after you have it stretched out a bit, now your vinyl has cracked. You can apply another round of pressure and heat, and this will make sure that the vinyl, when you put it in the wash, it's going to last longer than if you wouldn't have done this. Alright, now you've stretched it out, you've pressed it 2 times. I like to go for 3 or 4 presses because, like I said, I've went through a lot of headaches with prints coming off and stuff like that, so I would suggest you guys apply 3 press, even 4, depending on what type of garment you're printing and what type of off contact you have. So let's say with hoodies, you need to apply a bit more pressure, and I would go for a 4th press on hoodies, but for t-shirts, 3 press and even 2 would be more than enough. But this is how it looks. Very, very clean. Heat transfer vinyl, big dub. I do suggest you guys start a business in it. I had an amazing journey and still am having an amazing journey with this vinyl business. But you're not only limited to vinyl, so you have a lot of other options for you, including screen printing, embroidery, DTF. So do stick around if you guys want to learn how to make your own t-shirts, either for your clothing brand or to provide for other businesses or other clients. It's a great way to make money, it's a great way to live, and it's a great way to expand your opportunity. As you guys can see, when I peeled off this logo, I was able to peel off one shot when it was hot right off the press. Depending on the type of vinyl, like I previously mentioned, do your own research. Some are going to be a cold peel where you need to wait about 1 minute, 2 minutes to let this garment cool off, and then you're able to peel it off. So just FYI. Try to keep this video as simple as possible. If I did my job correctly, do hit the like button and comment down below. And like I said, I'll have a full-on video on going into depth on how to do this business for yourself. I'll have a full-on course also coming out soon, so do stick around. A big thank you to John Santos for giving me the inspiration to make this video, and I'll see you guys very soon. And that wraps it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Whole printing. Make a print you'll never forget.